Welcome to the Business Mechanic Show. I'm your host and coach, Ballin Sigmund, the only place where we pop the hood on your business, diagnose what's broken, and fix it good. Listen up, because in the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to save you years of frustration and probably gain you a few $1,000s in annual salary increase. Yeah, got you now? Here's the dirty little secret nobody wants to tell you. Your business or your team isn't coming up short and giving you a stress-induced heart condition because of the market, the economy, or your competition, or it's just hard to find good people, or this new generation. It's suffering because you're running it using poor communication. Yeah, hold on a minute there, Sparky. I know you communicate all the damn time. You do it in meetings, you do it in one-on-one interactions, telling people what to do. But are you really communicating? Well, I'm the founder of Results-Driven Leadership, and I've spent the last decade crawling under the hood of businesses just like yours. It's industry agnostic. It's from scrappy startups to Fortune 500 giants, and you know what I found? The same damn problems over and over again. But here's the beautiful part, and why you need to keep listening. Every single one of the problems you experience is fixable. Not with some feel-good, raw, motivational bullshit, but with real tools, proven systems, and the kind of no-nonsense leadership that actually gets the results you want. So whether you're a CEO who's tired of putting out fires all day, a manager who feels like you're herding cats, adult daycare, or an entrepreneur who's ready to stop working in your business and start working on your business, you're in the right place. And today we're going to tear apart the myth that running a business has to be chaos. We're going to show you exactly how the best leaders communicate and have effective conversations, what they do differently, and why their teams will follow them into battle while yours barely shows up for Monday morning meetings. So buckle up, because the Business Mechanic Show is about to fix this thing. Let me start with this. You think managing people is tough. Hear it all the time. Try doing it while everyone's walking on eggshells. Maybe you are. Avoiding the hard conversations. Maybe you are. And pretending everything's fine when it's clearly not. Here's the brutal truth. Most managers are absolutely clueless at giving feedback. They are weak as ultralight beer, but they don't know it. So they dance around the issues, avoid the problem, like not saying anything. They sugarcoat problems. They avoid the hard stuff and wonder why their team keeps making the same damn mistakes over and over again. That sound familiar? Good, because today we're going to fix that. Now, here's the leader's cardinal sin: pointing fingers instead of taking ownership. Yeah, I talk about that a lot. I have here recently. Finding more and more we need to make this point. And before you even think about having a performance conversation with your team, you need to go straight ahead about one thing. Everything that happens on your team is ultimately your responsibility, period, end of discussion. 3 most important words in leadership: it's my fault. Settle in. That underperforming team member, that missed deadline, that missed goal, sales coming up short, products not getting shipped, that project that went sideways. Stop pointing fingers and start looking right into the mirror. That underperforming team member, that missed deadline, that project that went sideways, that sales goal that didn't get hit. Stop pointing fingers and start looking in the mirror. Because here's what's up. Elite leaders know something that average managers don't. When people don't understand, they can't execute. And if they don't understand, that's on you, friends. That's on you. It's not their intelligence. It's not their poor listening. It's you. And I'm going to share with you today how to get through, around, fix that. So that instead of getting frustrated with others, let's do this. Examine what you could have done to fix it. Fix the problem or prevent it from happening, which is even better. Did your team actually understand the plan? That's the question. Did they actually understand you? Just because they nod their head and agree doesn't mean they understood. Was it communicated in simple, clear, and concise manner? You know what, 100% of the time when I ask that question, 100% of the time, the person I'm asking that question of as a boss, as a leader, oh yeah, absolutely, as clear as a bell. Let me ask you this. When you ask, did everybody understand? Instead of getting frustrated with others, examine what you could have done to fix the problem or prevent it from happening in the first place. Did your team actually understand the plan? Was it communicated in a simple, clear, and concise manner? Well, 100% of the time when I ask my clients that question, 100% of the time they say, oh yeah, absolutely. It's them. Let me ask you this. Did you ask for a readback to ensure your communication was effective? That's the simple little step that so many managers, leaders, business owners, people who are frustrated to all get out, it's the one they skip. It's simple as falling off a log. Something along the lines of, okay, y'all, what do we agree to here? How do you see this happening? When do we need to get this done? What are we missing here? What did we agree to? What are we going to go do? When we hit that door, what are we going to get done? And when are we going to get it done? And if you do that, you will come to the harsh reality, man, it's just incredible, of how inaccurately or incompletely your team member or your team heard you, or how they translated those expectations. That is TROUBLE. So let's take some ownership. So if you're really going to take ownership, that means diving into these challenges head first, recognizing the problem, and starting first with fixing you and your approach. Attack the root of the problem, and it always starts with you. It's a simple concept. Not always easy to execute, but it separates the leaders who built legendary teams from those who just manage people and go home smoked at the end of the day. So now I'm going to introduce to you the 3-pillar framework for difficult conversations, or for having conversations, period. It don't even have to be difficult. But if it's a tough performance conversation, one that most leaders avoid like the plague, let me just give you a framework that actually works. Not some fluffy, feel-good approach that sounds nice in theory but falls completely apart under pressure. Here's the system that transforms good managers into great leaders. Pillar 1, say it with control. Before you open your mouth, you better have control of yourself, your emotions, your body language. Check yourself, your tone, everything. Do a quick inventory of how you look, how you feel, what you're exuding. Because the moment you lose control, or even the semblance of control, you've lost the conversation because you've put them into defensive mode, whoever's on the other side of you. Start with breathing. Take a deep breath. Count to 3. Deep, controlled breaths. Do that 3 times. And that's going to activate your parasympathetic nervous system and keep you centered when the conversation potentially is going to get heated. Your team member might be defensive, could be angry, or they could completely shut down, but you stay in control. You do not ever go into a situation where your emotions are elevated. You are screwing yourself and your leadership and the trust that you need and require, that trust that the team has in you. Now, don't ever believe for a minute that they're going to tell you that. They're just not. It's so rare. They won't tell you. They'll accept your apology if you give one, but you screwed yourself. And unfortunately, that damage lasts a long time. And that's where the 24-hour rule comes in. Exceptions to this, sure, it happens. Sometimes you need to deal with something a little more quickly. I get it. Still check yourself, get yourself in control. But if you can give it 24 hours, all the better. That's the rule. Always wait to the next day to address a situation that has pissed you off or embarrassed you. You will have a calm the hell down attitude. You'll have that time. You'll have that space. More importantly, you will have time to thought through it, time to formulate a conversation that will be smart, to the point, and effective. Having control also means choosing your words deliberately. No emotional outbursts, no words or spurts that you want to get back and put back in your mouth. Oh, that's horrible. You won't have any passive aggressive comments. You won't say silly things like, we need to work on this. No, you need to work on this. That person you're talking to needs to work on this. Don't take ownership of their problem. But your ownership is to tell them they have a problem. Can't use sarcasm. You speak with intention, purpose, clarity. Pillar 2, say it with confidence. Confidence doesn't mean being an arrogant ass. It means being clear, direct, and unwavering in your standards. But you remain respectful. Use phrases like this. Give you an example. I need you to understand that. Here's what I'm seeing. This is what needs to change. Believe you're capable of better. Notice how these phrases own the conversation without attacking the person. That's confidence in action. You're not hedging. You're not apologizing for having standards. You're not making it your fault, although to some degree it is. You're not beating around the bush. You're making it not your fault because you're alerting them to it. Confidence is about setting clear expectations without ambiguity. When you speak with confidence, people listen. And when you speak with uncertainty, people tune you out. Simple as that. Confidence. Pillar 3, say it to connect. Here's where most managers completely screw the pooch. They think feedback is about telling people what they did wrong and expect them to magically fix it. Or worse, you telling them how to fix it. Wrong approach. Have a dialogue. Have a dialogue with them, coming up with the solution. They come up with the solution, not you. And even if they don't have one right away, send them out. Let them go think about it. Let them come up with one and come back to you. People are much more likely to follow through and own what they said they would do versus what they are told to do. Think about it and how you respond. Connections mean you're having this conversation because you care. You're showing empathy about their growth, their success. Their success is your success. You're not trying to embarrass them or put them down. You're not trying to assert your authority. You're there as their mentor, their coach. You're trying to help them win. And start by acknowledging their strengths. Then address the performance issue as something you're going to solve together. Use language like, I see your potential, and that's why you need to address this. Or, I want to help you succeed, and here's what's getting in the way. Or, you're such a valuable member to the team, and I need you to step up in this area. When people know you're on their side, they stop being defensive, and they start being collaborative. They start being your partner. So, all comes down to this. The 3 pillars, then you have to be able to set clear expectations. Now, you may be thinking you're doing that. Stick with me here because you're probably coming up a little short on some of these because it's the foundation of everything. Here's what separates elite leaders from the rest. They set expectations so clear, that's so bought in, there's zero room for interpretation. Most managers say something along the lines of do better or improve your performance and wonder why things don't change. That's not setting expectations. That's hoping for some magic bolt out of the sky. Elite leaders say things like, I need you to respond to clients' emails within 4 hours during business days. Or, your reports need to include X, Y, and Z data points and be submitted by 2 p.m. every Friday. Or, in team meetings, I expect you to speak up with at least one question or contribution. See how specific that is? See how you've got a timeline? It's clear. See the difference? It's specific, measurable, like actual. You're on the same page now. When you set vague expectations, you get vague results. When you set clear expectations, you get clear accountability. The performance feedback formula. How about that? How about me giving you a performance feedback formula that actually works. You ready for the secret sauce? Here's how to structure a performance feedback conversation that actually gets results. Step one, and by the way, you can go to my website, and this is all in a blog, and you can download that and use that as a guidepost for you. So step one, establish the purpose. Establish the purpose. I want to talk to you about some specific behavior, performance issue, whatever it is, because I know you're capable of more. I want to talk to you about X, Y, Z because I know you're capable of more. Step two, present the facts. Here's what I'm observing. Here's what I'm seeing. And in this case, you need to be specific, objective, never personal. Step three, think about the root causes and explore the root causes together. So help me understand what's happening from your perspective. What's going on? Step four, collaborate on solutions. What do you think would help you improve in this area? Step five, set clear next steps. Here's what I need from you going forward. And here's how I'll support you. Step six, follow up. You can't talk about it without a follow-up scheme. Let's check in on this in 2 weeks to see how things are going. Sound good? Notice what's happening here? You're having a dialogue, not a monologue. You're asking for responses, and they will give you some. You're not lecturing them. You're not attacking them. You're collaborating with them. You're solving the problem together. You're being their supporter. You're being their coach. You're being their mentor while maintaining clear ownership of the outcome. So let me give you an example of how this conversation actually works. And let me just set it up. Sarah, she's in her office. Make it a Tuesday. Sarah's the manager and has been avoiding this conversation for 3 weeks. Mike, let's call him a senior developer. He's a coder. And Mike, because nobody's told him otherwise, thinks he's crushing it. The reality is his code reviews are taking forever and the team's getting restless. Always remember, if you don't say anything, you're approving it. And most people have bad behaviors or bad performance because you're approving it. That's what we're talking about. Have the conversation in the right way and you'll solve it. So anyway, let me get back to the story. Sarah's the manager. Mike's the employee. He's the senior developer, the coder. So Sarah, she takes a deep breath. She centers herself, gets herself squared away. Hey, Mike, thanks for making time with me. I want to talk to you about your code review process because I know you're capable of more than what I'm seeing right now. And Mike, likely, because you haven't said anything to Mike before, is immediately going to be defensive. What do you mean? I'm being thorough. That's good. And Sarah, she doesn't take the bait. I'll help you understand because here's what I'm observing. Over the past 3 weeks, your code reviews are averaging like 4 to 5 days turnaround. And you compare that to the rest of the team, they're averaging 24 to 48 hours. And yesterday, Jenny's pull request sat in your queue for 6 days, which blocked her from starting the next feature. And I know you didn't mean to do that. So Mike he's getting a little nervous. He's shifting his seat a little bit. Look, I'm just trying to catch that everybody before they, Sarah, hold on. I know what you didn't, hold on. I'm not questioning your attention to detail. That's glorious. That's actually one of your strengths. Help me understand what's happening from your perspective. It's taking you so much longer than everybody else. I appreciate your attention to detail, but the time it takes is more than we can accept. Okay, so Mike then starts thinking, honestly, I feel if I miss something and it breaks production, it's on me. So I go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. Sometimes I even rewrite entire sections before approving them. Ah, Sarah said, she starts leaning in now. Now we're getting somewhere. I get it. You want to protect the code base. That's exactly why you're so valuable to the team, Mike. But here's the thing. Your thoroughness is creating a bottleneck that's frustrating your teammates and slowing down our sprint goals. Mike's starting to allow that defensive wall to start coming down because he says this, I didn't realize I was affecting everyone else. Why didn't they say something? Sarah ignores that last one and says, what do you think would help you maintain your quality standards while moving faster through the reviews? And Mike, thinking out loud, maybe I could focus on bigger issues first. I could prioritize things. And instead of rewriting code myself, I could just flag it and explain what needs to change to the person who wrote it. Sarah, exactly. Yes. Here's another thought. What if we set up a quick 15-minute daily check-in where you can bounce questions off of me? Because I understand you've gotten into this habit of doing it this way, and I want to be here to support you to snap out and break out of it. And let's check in every day. So it's very mindful on your part. And that way you're not second guessing yourself on every small decision. Mike says, oh, okay, that would actually help a lot. Sometimes I spend an hour debating whether something's worth flagging. Sarah says, perfect. So here's what I need from you going forward. Code reviews, completed within 48 hours max. That's your limit. Focus on functionality, security, and major style issues. Leave the nitpicky stuff for later iterations. And here's how I'll support you. Daily check-ins for the next 2 weeks. And I'll make sure you have clear guidelines on what constitutes review-worthy versus ship it and improve it later. And Mike probably now looks relieved. That sounds reasonable. And honestly, thanks for not telling me to just be faster. I needed to understand the why. Sarah says, let's do this. Let's check in next Tuesday. And I want to see how the new process feels. If we need to adjust anything, we will. Sound good? Mike, well, sure, absolutely. And Sarah, I appreciate you having this conversation instead of just letting it fester. I want to do a good job, and you telling me really helps me do a better job. Sarah stands up, extends her hand to shake, because that's what leaders do, and says, Mike, let's tackle this problem head on, because we do give a damn. I give a damn about our people. So you know what you're going to work on? Tell me what you're going to be working on, and then we'll get back together on Tuesday. So what are we agreeing to right here, Mike? Mike repeats exactly what Sarah asked. Great. And then Sarah says, I'll see you next Tuesday. What just happened here? Pure damn magic. That's what. Notice how Sarah didn't attack Mike's character or make him feel like shit. She identified the specific behavior, explored the root cause together. And that was a very brief example, but they explored the root cause together. They created a solution that honored his strengths while addressing the team's needs. And then Mike walks out of that office feeling supported, not destroyed. He understood exactly what needed to change, and now he has a clear path forward. That's how you handle performance feedback like a boss. So, starting to wrap this thing up, let's talk about building a culture of ownership. Performance management isn't just solving individual problems. It's about building a culture where everyone takes ownership. And as long as you take ownership, eventually they'll take ownership. Relationships are built on trust, and teams continuously innovating and adapting. And when team members see that you take ownership, address challenges effectively, have their back, that you care about them and their growth, they're much more likely to do the same. Your attitude is contagious. Your approach to things, you're setting the example. It becomes contagious. And think about it. When was the last time someone on your team came to you with a problem that they'd already started solving? I hope you can say yes to that. But if it's rare, it's not frequent, or at least almost every time, you need to work on the things we talked about today. When did someone last admit that they'd made a mistake before you found out? That's what an ownership culture looks like. So let me give you a weekly challenge, one that I believe will change everything. Here's your homework. This week, evaluate one area where your team is underperforming. Just one. Don't try to fix everything at once. One thing. Identify the root cause as you understand it. Take ownership of the problem. Go look in the mirror and say, okay, you've missed something here. What did I miss? And then help them implement a solution using the framework we just covered. Don't tell them. Have them tell you. And during all this, ask yourself some of these tough questions. Did I communicate clearly? Did I set proper expectations? Did I provide adequate resources and support? And did I follow up consistently? And by the way, while we're on this topic, in the show notes, feel free, please, download my free tool, the 16 Reasons Employees Don't Do What They're Supposed to Do. It'll give you a framework, a bunch of ideas as to why your team may not be doing what you need them to do at the level you need them to do it at. And guess what? It's all because you didn't do something or you did something inadvertently. In the end, like the thing we've been pressing here, it's the things that you do that holds them back. And the bottom line, great leaders don't avoid difficult conversations. They master them, but they start with ownership. Download that tool, 16 Reasons Employees Don't Do What They're Supposed to Do. Read through those, think about them, apply them to your daily interactions, and maybe even think about all the things that aren't going as well as you want them to. Then start having some conversations. Practice makes perfect. That's how you're going to master them. You can't hope the problems are going to fix themselves because they won't. Now that you have the way, the framework to address issues head on with clarity, with confidence, and your true concern, your true care, empathy for your people, believe me, your team is watching how you handle these moments. They're deciding whether you're the type of leader worth following into battle or just another manager they need to work around. Choice is yours. You can keep dancing around the issues and going unsmoked every day. You can just keep hoping things are going to get better. You can continue blaming it on all the things you've been blaming it on except for yourself. If you have or are losing good people, it's part of it. So as long as you start stepping up, taking ownership, and having the conversations using the framework and the pillars that I've shared with you today, it's going to make the changes. Stop making excuses. Start making changes. Your team and your career depend on it. Because here's the reality. In a world where everyone's trying to avoid conflict, keeping a lot of things for themselves, because I don't want to offend anybody, helping somebody do better their job is not offensive unless they're a psychopath, a narcissist. They want your feedback. Studies and surveys show over and over clearly they want the feedback. You just have to deliver it in a way that's palatable to them. It's actually going to get the results you're looking for. And I've shared the framework, the process with you today. Because if you're a leader who can't navigate difficult conversations with skill and confidence, you're going to struggle to survive. But if you can master these difficult conversations, you're going to dominate. And on that point, again in the show notes, download the free tool. And if you want to go through a complete course, my course, I'm very proud of. I've taught it to thousands of managers. It's performance management that works. I've got it on a special price because you're a listener to the Business Mechanic Show for only $27. It's normally $47. Go download that. Help yourself. Invest in yourself while this offer lasts. Now it's time to go get after it, y'all.